Hello, I am Meg Elphick and welcome to the FEI channels. In this series, in partnership with Agria, I have the pleasure of coming to look around some professional yards. We're going to be looking a bit at the behind the scenes of their day-to-day life and also their commitment of care to their horses. So today is show jumping. Now, if I've timed this correctly, our very special rider is going to be on their horse right now so we can go and catch up with them. But a few little things to tease you. He was actually the travelling reserve for the GB Olympic team this year. He's also got so many amazing accolades to his name and a very famous father. Let's see if we can find him. Must be heading the right way because I can see an arena with show jumps. So, anyone that guessed international show jumper Joe Stockdale, very well done, because that is where we are today in lovely Northamptonshire. Hi Joe.
How are we doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
All good, thanks, all good.
Having a nice little morning ride?
Yes, I'm nearly done with James here. And then once I finish with him, I can take you around and show you a bit of the yard.
Yeah, that'd be fab. I mean, I've been promised all sorts. I've got yard tours, grooming tips, logistics.
We can do that for you. It's a busy day here as usual, so
I bet.
plenty to see.
Well, I'll let you finish him off and then we'll get going.
Perfect, sounds good. So this in front of us here is Top Yard, what we call Top Yard. Now today we've moved them all up here because we had 5 horses leave for Spain the other night. And so we've just kept them all in one area, so that way we've not got one on its own. Yeah. They like to have a bit of company, so we try and keep Top Yard nice and full, but this is kind of the main working area. So this one here is eBay, otherwise known as e-banking. So he's actually just started. He's going to have a little bit of a holiday now. He's had a very busy year. So he's 10-year-old, he's just sort of stepped up to that 160 level and he's just kind of finding his feet at that level. And talking about the holiday side of things, obviously their work schedules are so important, but how important is the rest period for the horses? Really important for us, really important. I think they all need a sort of allotted time in the year where we give them a bit of time just to be a horse, go out in the field. And it's so difficult now with the schedule, there's so many shows, there's shows on every week, you know, if you go to a show every single week of the year. So you have to be quite disciplined to sort of make a plan, and this was always a plan for him. This was going to be his little rest period now where we can just have a bit of a quieter time with those bigger shows and he can sort of go out in the field, enjoy himself, chill a little bit. I mean, when they're in work, we try to keep a huge variety to their work. So they're trying to do something different every day, whether it's, even if it's riding in the school or the field or the indoor. We have a walker, we have lots of turnout pens. So every day, generally when they're in work, we try and keep it a bit of variety to it. From the care side of stuff, it stays the same. So we're still having physios, massage rugs, water treadmill as well. That's a great thing for them. Keeps him fit and healthy and you know, so all that side of things. It's all about, for him now, just enjoying himself, and by the end of it, you'll be able to tell when he's about done with his holiday and he's ready to get back into work. Now at the minute, he's loving his holidays and he's just enjoying having a bit of time off and having a bit of fun, aren't you, boy? He's just come off for the Back of Horse of the Year show. I was going to say, I saw your post from Hoy's. And he looks mega. He's finished on a high, and it's nice that he finishes really good and fit, so hopefully when we bring him back, he won't really have lost too much fitness. He's enjoying himself at the minute, and I'm sure he'll be nice and hairy in a couple of weeks and a bit scruffy like he should be. This is one's called Carla. She's just an 8-year-old. She just started stepping up to sort of 140s, 145 level nationally. She did go out to Spain at the start of the year and do a bit of a tour, just for a bit of experience out there. She's quite a big mare, and really we're trying to keep that in mind with our younger horses. Like with Casharella, my best horse, when she was young, she was really big and she took a long time to grow into herself, and this one's been a little bit the same. So although other people say, oh, she's not done a lot, she's not done young horse class all the way through, I'm not too worried about that, because actually I think we just give her the time she needs for her body to develop and get to the right point where she's ready to withstand up to the work, and kind of not try and push her too early. I'm never in too much of a rush with our younger ones, 6 and 7-year-olds, to be jumping age classes. They're deceiving the big horses, aren't they? You kind of think that they're strong because they're big, but they actually end up being weaker. Yeah, you think they're a big, huge frame of a horse, oh, she'll be able to stand up to the work, and actually she takes a long time to fill out that frame, you know, even just her hips and everything needs time to grow. So, yeah, we've gone steady with her, but she's a lovely, lovely horse. She's awfully friendly in the stable. You like all of ours like attention. We don't spoil them at all, I promise you. They're not always looking for treats. Yeah, she's a very, very friendly horse. Not Chestnut Mary at all, even though She's a massive chestnut mare.
Yeah.
She's, yeah.
And is she one you think is going to be a future star?
I could actually see it. You know, at the start, you always wondered how far she was going to go and what she was going to turn into. Again, it's easy with these ones to judge them too early.
Yeah.
And sort of, but I must say, the more she's done, she just seems to be stepping up the levels lovely.
Wow.
You know,
one to watch.
She is one to watch, yeah.
Are we going from one mare to another?
One mare to another.
Hey.
So this is hopefully going to be Carla in a few years. So this is Cacharel. So she's just come back. She's had a little bit of a trip. She was in Saint-Tropez and then Barcelona. She's a well-travelled mare. She was, you know, on the team for the Olympics this year. She's had her holiday a little bit earlier in the year, so she can keep going for a small period now. But with her, we're ready to try and pick and choose the shows.
And she's one you've had from a really young age,
We've had
she?
her since 3-year-old. Yeah. So we've had her right from the very start.
And how old is she now?
She's 13 now.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So
How
we've literally
special.
done everything with her right from the very start. We try and pick and choose our shows a little bit to what's going to suit her and what we know she likes. So she'll probably do maybe 2 or 3 shows towards now at the end of the year, and then that'll probably do her until next year then, where we try and make a plan and pick out Nations Cups and what we want to really aim at. We know what she can do, we know what level she can jump at, so it's trying to keep her in the best condition and really pick and choose and be selective about what we do. And
So when you say pick and choose, how is that done? Is that on, like, with the indoor, outdoor?
yeah, and mainly for me, it's picking shows with the best ground, rings that are going to suit her that I know she likes. She likes a big open grass ring. You know, if you had a small Tack sand ring, she doesn't always jump her best. She likes to be out in a big grass ring or a big open sand ring. And so really I try and pick and choose where she is going to enjoy it the most, kind of thing.
It must be so hard with all these horses to kind of, like, your brain must constantly be sort of figuring out where they're going to go, what they're going to do, what's going to work
There's
for
a
each
lot
one.
of that, yeah. The logistics of it is a bit of a nightmare, to be honest with you. Because obviously we've got a plan for, first of all, we've got all the national shows for the young horses. Or actually before that, we've got training shows for the really young ones, 4, 5, 6-year-olds, which are maybe just going to national shows. Then we've got ones like Carla, where she's 8-year-old, jumping 140, 145. She wants to step up a little bit, so that's, you've got to aim them at 2- and 3-star shows. And then you've got sort of eBay and Cash, where they've got to really aim predominantly at the 5-star shows. So trying to mix that in, you're not just organising for, okay, I want to do this 5-star, this one, this one, this
Yeah.
one. I've got to mix in the 2 stars, the 3 stars, everything else. Maybe a sweetener show for her, where she goes and jumps a bit smaller and finds it easy for a week, and then you can step her up again. As well as keeping everything sort of ticking along here with the younger horses. So
It is constant. I don't know how you do it.
it's a big production line. Yeah, you need more time than you got, which sometimes it feels like. But yeah, we try our best to keep on top of it when we can.
Yeah, no, I mean, it looks like you're doing a splendid job. Can I ask if we can go through the tack room? Because that's always my favourite place to go and snoop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? Is that all right?
Let's go and have a look.
Let's head over.
So it's the tack room. We're a little bit empty at the minute. Like I said, we've just set off to a trip to Spain with 5 horses, so hence why we've got quite a few bridles missing. So it's a little bit emptier than what it would normally be, but this is kind of the general gist of what we've got in here.
I don't think I've ever seen so many plaques
in
my life.
It's quite nice just to decorate the plaques. So we start, I don't actually know where it starts. I think it's up in this corner.
You've got yours and your dad's here.
Yeah, unfortunately, mainly my dad's, but I'm gaining
You're
on
adding to them.
Yeah, he's got about 5 rows. I think I've got about 1.5, if that.
Are there any kind of real standout ones? Any real special ones?
The
up here?
best ones are probably back in this corner, actually, because we've got the Beijing Olympics, the plaque from the Beijing Olympics. We've got the plaque from the World Championships in hurling, which I jumped. And then I believe we've got a plaque then from Paris this year, but that hasn't made its way up
Yet
just
to
yet.
go up.
Yeah, it's in the pipeline. On the right here, we've got all our work tack, so that's work bridles, all of the different bits, although I must say 99% of ours just working a plain loose string snaffle day to day. And so we've got bridles with interchangeable clips on them. And then along the left here, we've got all our show bridles, so we keep them nice and clean and fresh and sort of don't wear them out for when we're going away, so they look smart. And then also the horses, when we've got a bit which we're happy with, they can stay on there and that can be their bridle and no one else touches it. So it stops holes getting altered and bridles misfitting.
Exactly.
So once we've got them fully fitted, and sort of onto them, then they can keep it the same for them.
Yeah.
And then another thing to mention is back here we've got our hippo vibe.
Yeah, this is cool. I'm intrigued by this.
Because this is really important for what we do day to day. So what it means is that I can control all of the plan for all the horses at home from my phone, and then it comes straight back here, and then all the girls at home know exactly what horse is on what.
Okay, where next on the yard tour?
In the washroom, I think one of the girls will be getting a horse ready.
As promised, we are going to be getting some top grooming tips from our professionals throughout this series. So I'm currently here with gorgeous James and lovely Carly, who is the Stockdale home groom. You're going to be talking us through how to get the perfect show jumping mane.
Well, try, yeah, but yeah.
So James here has been on a little bit of a holiday, hasn't he? So he's gotten a little bit unruly.
A bit wild,
yeah.
Yeah. First of all, if he was going to an away show, we'd always, with his mane, because it falls on either side when he jumps, we always band it over and then trim it up so it's nice and straight.
So you don't tend to plait for shows then? They just have their manes down?
No. So always start with a wet mane.
Okay.
So it's just easier. So as you can see, it just goes everywhere.
He's got so much.
Yeah.
You're like a native pony.
So we always start out with smaller sections as well for his mane, because if you do wider sections, it'll always fall out. If you do smaller sections, then it's more likely to stay tight and stay in.
Okay.
And then throughout a show, you can just either tighten them, or if they do fall out, then you can just pull
Easy
them.
to fix.
Yeah, it's easier to fix. So then, like in the old school days, pull it in half, flip it up and over and in, and then tighten it. Then there you kind of hide in your band and your mane at the top. And then you just trim them all up.
Obviously, with James being on camera today, being one of the stars of the show, we are doing a bit more of a show prep, getting ready, aren't we?
Yeah.
So you're going to be hot clothing him.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and why you do it?
So we hot cloth horses before a show because it removes all the kind of your dust and your grime and stuff from being in the stables. It just makes them look a bit neater and tidier and shiny. We always religiously every day after they've been ridden, they either get sponged off or they get hot clothed every day. You don't want it too wet because then you're defeating the object and you're kind of sponging your horse off, so you always make sure it's really properly wringed out, just kind of damp. And then you just go through and you rub off all that dust, and then it just brings up the nice shiny coat on top. Then also as well, it's a nice thing for us to be able to feel their skin and stuff so that you know if there's any cuts, lumps, bumps or anything like that. So we kind of do it religiously every day.
Checking them all over,
so that you check in everywhere on the horse and you're not missing anything.
But thanks for showing that.
No, it's all right.
Good tips. Here we go. This is what rules Joe Stockdale's life.
Pretty much. This is the only way I can sort of look at everything at once. So.
The old school way, I like it.
Yes,
the old pen and paper on a yearly planner.
Well, you need to see a couple of months in ahead and behind, so I find this is the easy way to do it.
Okay, so what are we looking at then?
So this is this year's show. So obviously we've got a couple here planned for the coming months, and then that's obviously what we've already done. We've got a diary as well. So this is mainly for shows, but then we also have a diary where it organises all of our physio appointments, vet, farrier, that kind of thing. Say, right, we've got to go to Saint-Tropez, start getting papers organised, start getting bloods done for the horses, make sure all the vaccinations, everything is up to date and ready to go. And so this is kind of my yearly planner. I've already actually got underneath my 2025 mapped
A little bit more
out.
colourful, I like it.
The cat's laid on this, so I think I've lost a bit of my ink is the only thing.
And there's a cat somewhere with writing on it.
We've got more permanent markers for 2025, so it shouldn't come off as easily.
Exciting stuff.
So yes, so that's generally planning on shows, and then we have to think about obviously all the paperwork that goes
Yeah.
with them.
And who's involved with that? Are you the mastermind behind that?
No, that's all Mum.
That's the boss.
That's all Mum that's in charge of paperwork. I'm not very good in front of a computer.
I think it's time we get Mum involved.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this is something I have no idea about because I only compete in the UK.
Okay.
But it's a whole different world, isn't it, actually travelling your horses abroad?
So all the horses have FEI passports.
Yeah.
Obviously they are on 6 monthly flu jabs and, you know, they're obviously kept up to speed. That's easy. But now we have to have carnets as well for every horse. You can put multiple horses on one carnet, but then you also have to list all your equipment that's travelling with that horse.
Blimey.
Can you imagine how tedious that is?
So all of the stuff that's been packed that we were talking about earlier, the
Yeah.
tack blockers,
all that.
everything.
Yeah, has to be listed. So that's that. And then
Joe's going to sleep over here. He's not used to this.
I stay out of this.
so the vets do our papers. The papers then get sent to the vets in France at the docks. The vets check the papers, take copies of them, and then they say, yes, you know, we'll accept you. So then they come back to our transport agent and they then are allowed to book our tunnel or ferry time.
Jeez.
And then that lines up with the vet time arriving in France.
You know, the reason we need to travel abroad, as nice as it would be just to be able to stay in the UK and just do the UK shows.
Yeah.
The whole thing with ranking points now and the Nations Cups and everything else and all the different leagues that are going on, you know, a lot of that is in Europe, or most of it is in Europe. So for us to be able to get the rankings, we have a very select amount of shows. We've got some great shows here in the UK, but to be able to be getting up in the top, even the top 200, 100, you need to be going to Europe. You know, you can't do that just from the UK. Even if you went to every single UK international show we have on, there's just not enough there. And the real big shows, the 5 stars, you know, the majority are going to be across in Europe. So we have to travel. It's not really an option that we can just stay in the UK. As nice as it would be to stay here and do Windsor and Hickstead and, and those shows here in the UK, we do need to go abroad and venture out a little bit every now and then.
Absolutely. Wow. This has been really cool. My eventing calendar looks a bit simple in comparison, but no, thank you for talking us through that.
Well, seeing as you're here, if you'd like, we've got a few of Dad's trophies and a couple of mine, not quite as many as him, in the other room on display. If you'd like to come have a quick look at a nose.
Love that. Yes, please. Let's go.
Let's go. So this is where we keep a few little bits on display.
This is so cool.
Throughout the years, yeah. So it's not quite nice just to have them in, you know, even though we're in the lounge in the back room. Nice to sort of put them out and so they don't get lost in a dusty cupboard somewhere.
Is this the dream for you to have a display like this at the end of your career?
Yeah, I need to do a bit more winning first, but I'm going to try my best.
And all the Hoy's cushions.
Yeah, so
They're
again,
cool.
we had all the rugs. We had all the rugs in the back rug room, but the same thing. We were just they were just collecting a bit of dust, so we thought actually.
Oh, these been made out of the rugs?
These are the rugs.
No
so these,
way!
These
What
are
a good idea!
These are the winning rugs, and they were just again because they're almost too nice to put on the horses in the stables, so we didn't know what to do with them. And then we also had a chair made out of it.
Oh my god!
So the seat of that is from the King George. That's the rug from the King George.
Can I take a seat?
Horse of the Year show. Go for it. Yeah.
Be the closest I'll ever be to being anywhere near these winning rugs.
Yeah.
Little tips on how to display things.
Again, nice to have them on display so people can actually come in and see them.
While we're on about things on display, I can't not mention
My sloppers.
your foot attire.
Well, it's the perfect bit of footwear for the house because you don't have to take your boots off.
Fashion icon. You
Slippers,
can get straight back out to the yard.
Slippers without taking your socks or your boots off. Perfect. So.
Dreamy. Okay.
Well, I need to get back because these girls are going to be moaning at me. So should we get back to work on the yard?
Head back outside. Yeah.
Into the cold.
Nice tea break.
Yeah.
Thanks for the tour.
No problem.
Wasn't expecting a house tour as well.
Yeah, no, you got the full job
bonus.
out there. Yeah. So that's about it really. So yeah, usually my mornings consist of all the riding, and now this afternoon it's all down to those yard jobs that are always need to be doing.
Oh, fun.
Yes,
yeah.
All the fun bits.
I don't think I was contracted to get involved with those, so I'll let you. You go and get those done.
I've got plenty of work.
No, honestly, no, just in front of the camera for me. Thank you so much. This has been amazing.
No problem at all. My pleasure.
Look around.
Yes.
It's been great. Yeah,
No,
and
all
we'll obviously wishing you all of the luck in Spain.
Fingers crossed.
In Spain and beyond. Now
Yes.
I've seen your calendar. I know what a crazy.
Not
year
too
you'll
busy.
have.
We've got a few bits and bobs, but we're not too manic now until January, and then we'll be flat out again. So, yeah.
Never stops.
Keep going, keep going.
Yeah.
Thanks
Brill.
for coming.
Thank you so much, Joe. A huge thank you to Joe Stockdale and Agria. What a treat it has been to come and have a little look around. If you've enjoyed this series, do make sure to stay up to date on the FEI channels because there's plenty more to come.